Hello beautiful people. A few days ago I asked on my Instagram what video you would like to see, and I don't know whether it's because I looked such a mess in my last video when I was doing my hair and then kind of got myself together, but I got quite a lot of people asking for my everyday makeup routine. And I'm going to say in advance, before I get loads of comments telling me I'm doing makeup wrong, I am aware that I'm doing makeup in the wrong order compared to other people. I appear to be putting on things that you might not think make sense, applying things wrong. It works for me. So that's all I'm gonna say, and if any of you take anything from this, I'll be happy, because yeah, we'll see how it goes. Just to talk about my hair really quickly, so this is less than a week since my last video. And well, as you can see, it's gone very frizzy. I still haven't washed it, but it's frizzy because of the humidity in New York, which is driving me crazy, which led me to slick up the front, which of course allowed me to have my face out, which has led us to this stage here. A woman doing her makeup, potentially wrong, and you're just gonna have to deal with it. All of the products that I've used I have left in the box below if you're interested. I've also added what shade I'm using where possible, so that you know what I've been using. And yeah, enjoy, and if you've got any ideas of what videos you want to see, please let me know and I'll be sure to get back to you. Okay, enjoy, bye. So this is my face looking a little bit or a lot more tired. As you can see, I don't really get blemishes or spots or zits or anything like that. If you want to see a skincare routine, I'll be happy to share it, but I do have a little bit of discoloration, so that's why I put a bit of foundation on when I do rarely put on makeup. So I start off by spraying my face with this stuff, mainly because it smells delicious, like roses. Then I put on my favourite lip balm, and then I move on to my primer. This primer has been my go-to for years. Again, all of the products are below. I find that it just makes my skin really smooth. When I put foundation on, it lasts for longer and it covers up my pores, as it is Porefessional. Then I use my beauty blender, which we're going to pretend is clean. I have actually made it damp with water, and then I spray it with my rosy stuff as well. Then I use my favourite Fenty foundation. It's a little bit warmer than my skin tone. I really enjoy it at the moment because my tan from Dubai is fading real quick and my skin's starting to look a little bit washed out. So using a bit of a warmer foundation kind of just gives a little bit of, well, health, warmth to my skin. What I like about it is it's quite sheer, it's not too heavy, you can build it up, but as you can see, it just kind of evens out my skin. So where it's just a little bit darker in places, it's just making it all the right shade, and where it's lighter, because my skin is a lot lighter in some places as well, it's just making it all matte and the same colour. You can see what it's doing. And then I use one of the trio of Stix that you can also get from Fenty. I got this when my skin was considerably darker, so as you can see, the colour difference isn't that extreme, but I still like to use it on my under eyes just to brighten it a little bit. I don't use a beauty blender for this, I just use my finger, just because I'm not really trying to kind of blend it out too much. I just want to go around the edge. I don't know if any of that makes sense, but still, to me it does. Then I go down my nose just to highlight the bridge of my nose, and then my chin just to highlight. I like having like a heart-shaped face, so I like highlighting my chin. Then I use the dark stick, so the contour stick. I have very sharp cheekbones. That's one thing about me. If you ever meet me and you want to have a kiss on the cheek, you know, it will hurt. And I just use the actual shape of my cheekbones to just follow that line. I then use it on my large 8 head and down the side of my nose, which is a tiny bit wonky in places, just to make it straighter. Then my chin. And I've lost a bit of weight recently, but if I have a double chin, it always helps to have that line. Now, I always try and bounce it around and do that whole patting thing. I get frustrated. I end up just smoothing it down, especially on my forehead, because recently, embarrassingly, there's been a few photos of me, especially with flash, where I can see that line on my forehead real clear. So I like making sure that it's completely blended in now. And then again, just going everywhere else, blending it in, making sure that it's not too noticeable. And down the sides of my nose, at the bottom of my nose. That's looking a little bit nicer. Yeah, and then my other cheekbone as well. So this is just all to just kind of give my face a bit more dimension, highlight my cheekbones, or at least contour my cheekbones so they really stand out. And then just shrinking my forehead, giving my nose a bit more shape, and again making my face have more of like a heart shape rather than being round or oval, whatever it is. Now I use Laura Mercier powder, which is expensive, but it's nice and it works. And then I just pat it into my face. Now I am going to be baking, okay, but I do like making sure that the first base where I've had the concealer is really been patted in. Now it's expensive stuff, but I want it to be doing the trick. So I pat that into my face, underneath my eyes to set the concealer. Then I just do it down my nose as well, and then yeah, just need to make sure that that contour is still kept intact, and then on my chin. And then just for the sake of wasting powder now, I use my brush. Now this is going to look insane, but I do put it on my eyelid as well. Normally when I do my makeup, it's freshly after washing my face, and I then put coconut oil on my face. That means that around my eye where it doesn't really absorb the coconut oil very well, it normally looks a little bit greasy. So I put the powder on to just kind of absorb that grease. Now this, the way I'm doing my makeup now, this was quite a while after washing my face, so all of that coconut oil had absorbed. But I'm just showing you what I'd normally do. If I was to put eyeshadow on, it looks a little bit less crazy, but still. So I just go underneath where my contour is on my cheekbones to highlight that as well, down my nose, so anywhere where I want the lightness to be. And then I also brush it over my eyebrows, because again, that's an area that can get quite greasy. So I just want to make sure that it is able to take my eyebrow products as well as possible. So I'm using this brush to just brush my eyebrows out. Luckily I do have very thick eyebrows, but I just want to define them. Now this was difficult, so just allow me with this. Trying to do it into the camera was a tough one. But what I do is I just go around the edge. So I first of all go underneath my eyebrow, and then I go on top, and then basically I just fill it in. So at some point soon I am just going to give up looking, yeah, there you go. I give up looking into the camera because it's too hard. I just fill it in. Then I go back with my brush just to try and brush it through. It kind of blends it out, and it makes it easier for me to see where I need to fill it in more. And then I just fill in those places that just need a little bit more love. And then once I've finished doing that, I just walked off. I couldn't do the other eyebrow. I didn't have the emotional strength. So both of my eyebrows are done. They're definitely sisters, not twins, but they work for me, so I'm okay with them. And then world's shortest bake, I just brush off that powder. I'm going to say now, I don't normally do my makeup in this light. I normally do it in the bathroom. So I've managed to avoid brushing off some of the powder I needed to on my left cheek, your left. So yeah, try and ignore that. But I now use a powder that's more my skin tone, just to map my face, just to go over some of the places so it doesn't look too crazy, especially if there's flash. Sometimes having that sort of light powder can be a bit problematic. Then use a darker powder just to contour my cheekbone again. I used to contour my nose again with this powder with a smaller brush, but I just find that it just looks a bit crazy, especially when you use like a flash. When you try and do it down my, well, when I do it down my nose, it just looks a bit weird. Like I feel like I look like a ventriloquist dummy. So I don't go too crazy with that anymore. I just leave it at that. Cheekbones on fleek. And then again, spraying my face, just so it all kind of merges together. Now I'm going to use my favourite highlighter, which was given to me by my beautiful, beautiful students from Dubai, who clearly pay attention to my love of highlight. So I like using this shade, Seychelles, because it's a bit goldy and it kind of complements my skin tone. So I just put it on the higher point of my cheekbone to just draw attention to that. Do that on both sides. Then I put a little bit on the tip of my nose because I think it looks a bit cute. I do it on my chin again, and then I tried to do it on my lip and just made a complete mess of that, but there you go. I also do it underneath my eyebrows just to highlight that bridge, that shape, because I am proud of my eyebrows, I must say. And then once I've finished doing that, I can move on to doing my lips. Well, first let's spray it, let's set that in place. I love the spray, as you can tell. Now, fun story about this lip liner. It definitely needed sharpening before I did this, but I couldn't be bothered to find my pencil sharpener, so I am actually hurting myself by drawing this lip liner on. But still, I always use like a brown. Most of the time I use a darker brown than this, but I thought I didn't want it to be too out there. I just wanted it to be a more natural look, so I just used this to go around the edge of my lips, drawing in a bit more of a cupid's bow than I actually have. And then I'll use any one of my favourite NYX lip glosses. This one's Tiramisu, which is very pinky, but I normally go for like a nude colour, whatever really takes my fancy. Just put that lip gloss on, and then it's time to move on to my eyes. Now, if I thought that doing my eyebrows in the camera was going to be difficult, eyeliner was a whole other story. As you can see, I have very long eyelashes, so that's a battle when I try and do my eyeliner, especially when you can't see properly. But I've been doing my eyeliner since I was like 13 years old, so it's kind of just on autopilot now. Now, I tried with this eye, but it wasn't going to happen, so no. Let me just come back once it's all done. And I'm back, and my eyeliner's done. Ta-da! Now, this is my favourite mascara, but don't ask me why. This particular one that I've bought, as in this stick, you know, normally when you have a mascara, you find that it's a bit clumpy the first few days, or there's just a lot of product on the brush. This just seems to have not got the memo that it should have stopped. So I've had this for a few weeks now and it's still clumpy, so I have to scrape off half the product every time. But still, I just blink it through. I basically never wear fake eyelashes. I've got long eyelashes anyway, and I am too clumsy to put on fake eyelashes, so I just blink it through, and that tends to just get my eyelashes looking popping. And I believe that's it. Oh no, I noticed that my my cheekbones were looking a little bit messy, and I know this is all in the wrong order, but I just thought I'd neaten it up with a bit of concealer. So I just went underneath just to make that line look a bit neater. And now I'm done. And this is my face. I hope this answers all your questions on how I do my makeup and look less dead. If it's helped anyone, I'll be happy. As always, please rate, comment and subscribe. Bye.